You're live.
Hello, float family, friends, everybody in the world. We are live again on Facebook. My name is Jonathan Rogue, Arbiter of the Void, where we inseminate and postulate the post-float glow. This is an interactive show. Hit the love button, the like button. Do it up, y'all. Love it. So, today we have a very special guest, the gentleman who has floated the longest with us here at Floatlight, and I'm excited to share his story with y'all, and let him share his as well. This is our 41st Floating Light Live. So if you're bum bum, this is a Floating Light Live.
What is that we were doing earlier? Like.
As y'all can see, I am the host tonight. I am Megan. I am our flotage therapist here, certified here by me for y'all.
And I'm insane.
In the membrane. Hey, hey. So today we have our friend Christian here. I am super excited for you guys to hear about his story. If you guys have any questions, this is an interactive show as always. So hit the like button, the love button. Show us some love, y'all.
We can see your comments.
We can see your comments. I'm a little bit nervous, but we are going to give it a rock. So couch cam.
What do you mean by give it a rock? You mean like
handing
them a rock? Like those Fox Valley hidden rocks?
Yeah.
You ever find one of those personally?
No, I don't know what those are.
They're sometimes here. They just magically appear.
Yeah.
You never seen those rocks that they paint?
And if Eric is out there, if you could please return those back to Floatlight.
Yeah, there was some super cool hidden rocks.
It was a beautiful one
in the parking lot outside.
And somebody stole them.
That's the point, dude.
No, it was just Eric. He just took all 6 of them and he hid them in his truck.
What's up, Lamar? Kelly?
So yeah.
What's up, Scott?
Yeah.
Hello, friends.
Hi, friends.
This is the most exciting Floating Light Live because we have totally chopped and screwed and mixed this whole thing up. Different location, new host. I'm not really here right now. I'm just a hologram.
Yeah, John's actually at home with his kids and wife. So all things you see aren't really here. They don't really exist.
That's why I wear these goggles.
John has probably the best look.
I do.
Of glasses.
I'm gonna start a trend.
We should start doing that now. Like, it's just gonna be a new look every week.
You should have those light up, like the outside. You know?
Dude, put LED lights in it.
Dude, I'm a specialist with LEDs. I could totally do it.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is content, friends.
Yeah.
Content.
Yeah. Brainstorming.
Mr. Beast. Donate.
I love him.
He's funny, isn't he?
I love Mr. Beast.
Oh man, you ever seen Mr. Beast? Anybody out there seen Mr. Beast? That guy is hilarious.
Shouts out to Mr. Beast.
Shouts out if Mr. Beast is watching, because we are on Twitch right now.
Tag Mr. Beast.
Boom.
Weird seeing Megan and John switched.
We didn't really switch though. I'm actually John.
Yeah, totally. Didn't you know? Floatlight invented some new tech.
New look, who you? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But let's kick the show off.
So meta.
As we always do, we are going to start with asking Christian. He got a little bit of a float in today. So we'll ask him how your float was today.
It was pretty great, actually. I was really, tired and, I guess on edge after work, and it's, completely gone now. So that's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the joys of, floating after work, I feel. A lot of people are like, oh, I love starting my day like that. I'm like, I kind of like ending my day like that. Because, I really get to, granted, I always say, for me, floating here can be hard sometimes. Trying to depict between work and floating sometimes. So sometimes I'll hear something and be like, all right, what do I have to tell John now? That's usually what goes through my mind when I think that. And I'm sure you think the same thing now that you're here more and working here more as well. You kind of get that way when you're in the tank and you're just like, all right, what's this? Is my mind playing tricks on me, or is there something actually that's going on here? And that's the thing, and it can be hard sometimes for that to happen, and you just kind of gotta let it be and let it go. It's kind of how it goes, but it's nice to be able to get to that point where you can finally just let it all go and then like nothing matters and nothing exists, and you're just not here, but you're here as always. But it kind of disappears, and that's what everybody needs, I think, in any way, shape, or form. But
That's
I feel
true.
like that's how I feel.
Man, Megan got super deep. I'm telling you, it's like the soapbox up there.
New energy.
I love it. Megan's made for this.
Yeah.
She really is. I had to say, gosh.
I get it from my father. Shout out, homie.
Hip Entertainment.
Hip Entertainment.
I gotta say a shout out to Scott too. Thank you. You saved
yes.
me for my daughter's DJ party, man. That was crazy. I loved it. I loved it. It was fun. Greatest track records or track list ever. I needed that. Thank you. So, anyway.
It was really awesome. But just a few shout outs. Aaron, Andrew, as always. Love you guys so much. Jay Lamar, my aunt, my mom and dad, Dan's parents as well. Float fam. We appreciate you guys always being here.
Man, they're joining us late today.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
My
super
dad,
cool.
but my dad was totally giving me crap before I left the house. He's like, "It's past my bedtime." I'm like, "Dude, you've been off the last 4 days."
Yeah,
You're
people
fine.
are like, "You're not doing it tonight, are you?" And I'm like,
That's exactly what he said to me. He's
Just
like, "You're not
wait.
even doing it."
just wait. This is a
Just wait.
special Floating Light Live. We had some setup here. Honestly, I have to say, like, coming from the perspective of Float Light, I'm super, 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 super grateful that Christian joined us.
Yeah, absolutely. When Jonathan had told me the other day, he was like, "Hey, Christian wants to go on live." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, he was talking about that. How he was
Christian
gonna be
wants to go
excited.
live? Like,
Oh, I did. I was like,
so
like,
cool.
just wait till I tell Megan.
like that's like the coolest thing. Like, and like some of you guys may or may not know, Christian actually has floated here for the longest, for 5 hours and 40 minutes,
Something
like that.
Yeah, Christian does hold
Holds
the
the
record.
record.
Yes, he holds the record.
Yeah,
And
he
Holds
does.
the record.
I didn't
So-
even think about that when I was posting. I'm like, dude, he holds the record. 5 hours, 45 minutes.
Yeah, so like Christian, can you touch base a little bit on that? I kind of what that was like, kind of why you wanted to do it, and like kind of what your thought process was during it and after, and how you had felt.
Well, I guess I wanted to try it because, I mean, I've tried like the hour floats, obviously, and then the hour and a half. And I noticed the difference between the hour and hour and a half, where the hour and a half, I would start to feel a little bit anxious towards the end, you know, and kind of wanting to get out. But I kind of learned to push myself through that. And so I kind of just wanted to go even further, and kind of just go as long as I could, you know.
So what kind of helped you overcome that anxiousness, the anxiety of that, that you were feeling at those times?
I guess I just like self-talking to myself, like, you know, just telling myself like, you can stay in here longer and stuff. There was definitely some times where I like really wanted to get out, but I just kept pushing through and stuff.
How did you feel like after that flow? Like after you had gotten out, did you take a little bit of time to reflect on it, or did you just go home?
Yeah, I felt like my brain was broken after. Yeah, but it only took like a couple minutes to
I remember because I
readjust.
talked to you afterwards.
Yeah,
I was like, feeling, man.
I was so zoned out.
You know what's crazy? When I was in Portland at the Float conference, it's where it used to be held. Now it's held in Denver, Colorado. But I got a chance to float at my friends. Have this float center, one of the most famous in the world. It's called Float On, and these guys, they just about done everything for our industry. Anyway, I got a chance to float in one of their tanks overnight. The longest I've ever floated was 5.5 hours. Christian's beaten my record. And I'll tell you, when I got done floating, I got to talk to the chillest hippie guy in the world. I know it wasn't probably like that for me because I'm not that guy. Well, maybe I was. I don't know. But this guy was totally just chill. Hello, friend. We got friends who want to look at the stream.
Oh, hey, y'all. Can they hear us
Hello.
outside?
No.
No.
Usually
Say hello to the camera. You're on live. You're on Facebook.
Facebook.
Go to Facebook. Floatlight on Facebook.
Facebook.com/floatlight. You know, of all the days I could have piped the audio outside.
Oh, she can't hear us at all?
You want to be able to hear us?
Go outside.
Hold on. Tell her to hold on. I'll get her. I'll get her audio. We gotta make this happen.
1 minute. 1 minute.
I'm gonna answer that question. For
Yes,
Aaron.
please do.
I think I like passed out and like woke up multiple times during that like 5 hours. but I'm not too sure because it was just all like black, so it was just kind of confusing. I guess.
So in that 5.5 hours, did you find that you had to have the lights on or turn the music on if you didn't have it on at all?
No, I just went straight like pitch black.
Complete sensory deprivation.
Yeah, like I wanted to see how like far I could take it, you know.
And with that, you were able to last that long without being stimulated. So then when you came back, like when you were like reintroduced to like existing, like was it very like, because you came out at nighttime probably, right?
Yeah.
So it probably wasn't as overwhelming as if you would have came out probably during more of a midday time, say floating at 10 a.m. until, you know, say 6 p.m. As where if you would have came out at that time, you would have been like, what is going on here? I'm overstimulated. Like, and I have people that I've talked about that with, like, they're like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I floated at night, because like they'll float during the day. Oh snap. And they're just like, oh wow, like I'm so glad that I floated during the nighttime, because like being re-stimulated after a float can be very overwhelming for some people. Like for Mitch, for example, sensory overload is a huge thing for him. Even for me, it can be, especially with loud noises. I get really, really aggravated and agitated a lot of the times, especially like the train goes by, and I'll be closing, and it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and the train will be going by, and like I've been here all day, like in the silence, and I'm just like, I will literally run to check doors and run to my car and leave, because like that, the loudness of the train bouncing off the buildings is just so obnoxious. Like it hurts my ears so bad that I literally have to leave. I have another friend who floats, and he had gone outside one time, and the train had came by, and he comes and he's like, wow, that is really loud. And I was like, dude, I know, I'm sorry. Like kind of warned you, kind of not really, but
you know, it's interesting because I really haven't like done a lot of floats in the morning. There was only like a couple times that I've done it in the morning, but like every single time it's pretty much like towards the night.
Do you usually prefer the night times?
I think so, probably because it like helps me like sleep, because I'm just like relaxed.
Absolutely. And that's interesting you say that. So like my first float, as I tell you guys, like I floated at like noon, so I got done about 1. I got here about 1:30, and it was really interesting because like it was like middle of winter, and it was like still like really bright outside and snowy, so I was like, oh my God, this is like really like overstimulating right now, and it was really obnoxious. And I was like, man, like next time I need to float at nighttime. So that's what I did. My second float, I ended up floating at 8 p.m. and it was great because I went home. Well, after my first one, I had gone home and I went to bed right away. I ended up falling asleep for like 2 hours.
Nice.
And then I didn't sleep at all that night. But my second float though, I went home that night, and I had floated for an hour and a half, and I went home and I was instantly in sleep. And it was nice because like it was easier for me to fall asleep because I have such sleep issues as is that like I've been now trying to meditate before bed to help with that, because I can put a meditation track on and within a half an hour I'm out, because it's so easy for me to listen to that type of track. I've actually been listening to Josh, you'd probably find this interesting. I've been actually listening to hallucination tracks. And I don't really know if it's been working or not. I just kind of eventually zone out, and then I just am gone. And then like he's like, listen to my voice, and I'm like, wait, where are we again?
You mean like hypnosis?
Yeah, like hypnosis. Yeah, it's like really interesting.
Hypnosis tracks all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of like my jam right now. It's like very interesting. But though, with the energy that shift that we're in right now, I've been paying very close attention to my dreams. It was one of the things that was like stated, so it's really really interesting. So it's just like really mind-blowing to read. And then like we have our dream journals here, so like I'll look it up and I'm like, oh my God, get out of my head, this is really weird. What are we talking about, John?
Go ahead.
She thinks you don't like her.
I like
It
you.
looked pretty aggressive
I'm just
when you
really
said, "Wait."
scared. It's okay.
I'm just really scared.
Oh yeah, you can't hear me. Oh yeah, I'm scared. It's cool.
You're not scared. Stop.
John's trying to talk
Give
us
a
through
shout
this.
out.
No, she's a Twitch streamer.
Yo, we're on
No
Twitch.
way.
Famous, dude. Yeah, dude.
Come inside.
She knows Ninja.
You hear that, everyone?
She knows.
We have a follower,
Ninja.
a friend of Ninja,
OMG.
right outside Floatlight, right here.
OMG.
Everybody follow. What's?
Alrighty. So, They had made the comment about the float and then an Uber ride home. Yeah, just have your wife drive you home, maybe. Have one of your kids drive you home, and it'll work out that way. Soon, someday, we will have Fluber, float light Uber.
Flubber.
Just like a pod, just like rolling down the street.
Could you imagine that? It'd be like a limousine, though. But it'd be like...
Sounds messy.
Bum,
Just
bum.
pull up to the function.
No, it would just be seats in it. Like,
yeah.
it would be beds in it. So it'd be like 3 rows of beds.
Oh, I was
just like-
imagining the tank.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it would,
Oh,
like,
you're saying the tank too?
it would open like a tank would,
Oh, man.
but it'd just be beds.
Oh, I feel it.
And then it'd be like nice and warm.
They serve tea.
That'd be sweet.
And egg rolls.
That would be the best, though.
Shouts out to Mize.
Yeah, shout out to Mize, y'all.
The perfect after float food.
That was the other thing I was gonna ask you, Christian. Were you like super hungry?
What's the name of that bar? It's got video games.
Player 2.
Yeah, dude. What was that?
Were you like super hungry like after your float then?
I'm always like super hungry after a float.
Yeah.
I always say, you guys, if you come out hungry after a float, you did it right.
Yeah.
And even if it's okay, it's cool. It's all good. All right, so let's read some of these comments. You guys, if you have any questions for Christian, please ask. He's more than happy to answer any questions that you guys may have about how many floats he's done, how long he has floated for, and also from so was today one of your favorite floats out of all of them, or was there another one that was more of your favorite?
I guess they're kind of like all my favorite, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
But do any of them exceed one or the other?
I wouldn't really say so. No,
No.
they're just kind of like the same experience, I guess, for the most part.
So what does happen when you float?
For me, I kind of just pass out. So it's just like taking a little power nap, I guess, like a supercharged power nap. Sometimes I just like sit there and think though, and just kind of try to meditate a little bit.
And does the thinking kind of help you more think through things in real life as if you were to be stimulated during those times?
I think it just kind of brings up like stuff that I might not be thinking of, like, you know, maybe like issues that are going on, but like I'm not actively like trying to like work on, you know.
Yeah.
I think they just kind of come up during then. And
But do you feel then that it's easier to work through those then in a tank per se rather than when you're out in the real world?
yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
I absolutely agree. I find that with having anxiety, my brain always puts me in like fight or flight mode, I guess you can say. But it puts me through all these really, really bad situations, like worst possible situations that you can have. And that's kind of what anxiety does. And it's just like, it sucks because like every person that comes into your life or every person, something happens, you don't believe it because you're like, well, this could happen or this could happen or this could happen or this could happen. But when I've been able to float, like it actually kind of makes me go through it really, really quick. But if it were to happen in real life, I would know how to react to it. So it'd help me react to it in a quicker, witty, fun way per se, rather than just like panicking and be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. So that's kind of one of the things that you can that can happen as well.
Like I downloaded this app like a couple maybe weeks ago called Headspace. It's just like a meditation
I've
app.
heard of that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I feel like it helps too during like being in the tank, you know,
Absolutely.
because you can kind of like put yourself in that situation and just kind of like focus on your breathing. And, like it helps with the tank experience, I guess.
Yeah.
I would say.
Absolutely. And I really want to listen to a track during a float. During a float. I haven't yet. I would probably have to get like a better Wi-Fi because like I don't want to use like all my data, obviously, and I don't have unlimited. But I feel that like if I could get like the perfect track, I think that's kind of what I'm working for right now, is like that perfect track that would help me get to a better point or a better spot for that to happen for me personally. But Carol did ask, why did you start floating, and do you do it on a regular schedule?
I guess I started floating because I struggled with depression for a long time, so it was just kind of like a way for me to kind of just take myself out of that sadness. And what was the other question?
Do you do it on a regular schedule?
I would say in the beginning I did, because it helps so much. But as time kind of went on, life just gets crazy and stuff. So I don't really do it as much, but I'm trying to do it a little bit more again.
Do you feel that like you can tell like when your body's ready for you to come back?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. That's how I feel. Like, Dan, do you ever get that feel like, I need to float now? Send me to a tank. I need it. Yeah, I feel that way.
Sometimes like I wish I had one at home so I could just like hop in,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, John, we're creating a fluber where like it's gonna be like a limousine, and the top's gonna go like the pod does, and then there's gonna be like 3 beds in it. It's gonna be really cool.
I like it.
Cool. Sounds like a good
idea.
idea.
And Dad, Jose, one reason why you might be thirsty after a float is because you probably need to hydrate before the float and like throughout the day as well.
Yeah.
Like if you're really thirsty after the float, it's because you're not taking as much water as you should be.
Yeah, and plus with the floating, you're also going through a detox.
Yeah.
So that's part of that process as well. Has anybody done an overnight float at your facility yet?
Sort of.
Like we always say, it kind of depends. What do you consider an
It's
overnight
hard
float?
to go that many hours, as Christian will even tell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've
But
been
yeah,
thinking
it's something we offer. What we found is that people actually shop Floatlight for hotel rates then.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. They're like, oh, it costs this much to stay at the Red Line, this much to stay at the Copperleaf, and how much does it cost to stay at Floatlight? And I'm just thinking to myself, like, dude, you're just trying to sleep in the world's most comfortable mattress,
For real.
Absolutely.
It's kind of what it feels like. So I'm like, this has got to be something that we offer to like Float fam and people who are dedicated, like Christian, no, without a doubt, and so and anybody else who's floated with us at least a substantial amount of times that know that they're ready for that journey, because it's gonna be one where you have to have the willpower.
Yeah, for sure.
You kind of do. You got to kind of like tell yourself, I'm not ready to get out. Because even when I was floating for a long time, I got out and I took a shower because I was like psyching myself out in the float tank, like I was starting to get cold. I don't know why, but I wasn't cold.
But I feel like that's because I feel like our body is submerged in water, and like even when you're at like a swimming pool, like you get cold when you're out of that water because the water temperature and the air temperature is completely different. So like you go from like, and I feel like it's more of a psychological thing than a physical thing.
As soon as you start thinking about it, it becomes a reality.
Absolutely. And like, and a lot of people, a lot of our guests who come through are always like, oh my God, what, it's really hot in here. And I'm like, if you feel that way, honestly, take a little bit of a warmer shower. And then when you enter the tank, the water already feels cold. So, or it's a little bit not as warm. So then when you float in the water, then your body levels will properly elevate or go neutral.
Yeah.
Cannot think of that word. And Carol, you are absolutely right. Sometimes our mind needs it better than our bodies, and I 100% feel you on that. And Aaron, I do get free Wi-Fi. It just only goes to certain areas sometimes, so that I'm just kind of like, oh boy. It doesn't always get back to the tanks, and it kind of depends. I just got a new phone as well, so I'm not exactly hooked up to our Wi-Fi's right now, but that's because I got a new phone, so we're trying to re-put me back onto everything. But it's getting there. It definitely is getting there.
Aaron has a question about like binaural sounds. I've never listened to binaural sounds while floating, but I have tried like meditation, just like self-meditation and stuff, self-hypnosis, stuff I find on YouTube just to listen to, just to kind of like help ease my thinking and stuff. So yeah.
How did you hear about floating before Floatlight?
Well, I did see it like on some Joe Rogan videos on YouTube, but it wasn't really just that. Like after that, I kind of started digging more into it, and I guess just seeing what was out there. I didn't realize that like we had one in Madison. This was before like Floatlight was in Appleton. So I found out we had one in Madison, so I went and tried it and stuff, and I was like super like blown away. The first time I went there, I don't know, I just felt like super great, like the coldness of like the wind, because it was like winter. Like I could just feel like everything, like like every sensation I could feel, and I don't think I've ever felt that before.
Yeah.
but after that, then I heard that there was one like here, or gonna be built here, and I was like, that's awesome because I live like 40 minutes away, so
Are you talking
closer.
about us, bro?
Yeah.
Well, and that's interesting you say that because I was looking through like questions to ask people like online today, and that one's like one of the things that kind of made me think of floating was, what is your favorite smell? And it kind of made me think about everything, like all these memories that I had with people, but it makes me think a lot of like here, because like I can get triggered a lot here, and a lot of things. Not only is this place very, very healing, but like I have a lot of people who come here to be healed.
Yeah.
And I feel that a lot of things can come up, and it made me think about that, and like what does the color blue smell like? Like, why was it named blue? Why wasn't it green? Or why were things named the color that they were? But then you kind of think about it a little bit deeper, like, okay, why is an orange orange? Why is an apple red? And then it kind of like makes you think even more deeper. And it kind of made me like appreciate things a little bit more in life. Not always the small things, but it made me think about that a lot more. And how, obviously life is very, very, very precious, but to look at life a little bit differently after a float, it can be life-changing. I remember Jonathan had made the comment stating after his 5.5 hour float, he said that everything just had like a yellow hue to it. Everything was brighter and more intense. And that's kind of something that kind of like stuck with me a little bit. Jonathan, to catch you up a little bit, I don't know if you were listening or not, but I was just mentioning how sensations that you feel after your floats and how things became things that they were, and like colors and everything, but how it can make you appreciate life a little bit more. And you were saying that after your 5.5 hour float, that when you came out, everything had like a hue of orange to it.
Oh yeah, so
like everything looked differently and felt differently after that float.
I actually was gonna say it, like after that 5.5 hour float, I had to, I was back on a plane. Well, recently after that, I was back on a plane, and the plane ride was, I didn't really like the plane, but I knew that I would appreciate what I saw when I got off. And man, like the appreciation of everything. It was like weeks after the float. I was just like, I guess you could say it was excitement after coming back from a conference. It's this and that, but it was also just like this very vivid just feeling of just like existing.
Yeah.
Just existing. Just be. And that deep it's kind of hard to explain whenever you tell someone what's floating like. That to me was like, how do you explain it? And it was just like exactly what I needed. I loved it. And so yeah, colors, shapes, patterns, especially nature. I got done, and this is in Portland. There wasn't too many trees, but the trees that were around, I don't know, I had an appreciation for it, just being there.
Yeah.
And like the people, it's almost like I could sense the positive energy coming from every single individual. And it's almost like their negative energy, if they had it, wasn't really there, because I could only really perceive the positiveness that was existing in the world. And for me, it just made me kind of go with this like etherical flow, and it made me like super hyper productive. I was just ready to go, but at the same time, like I was ready to do something. When we were in Portland, we made a pact. We were all going to go down to the Amazon rainforest and meet a shaman.
Whoa.
And that'd be so cool.
Yeah, and we were going to like have a spiritual experience there, because like we knew that there was something deeper meaning. It was just kind of like, it was just so real. Not to say that things are really real. I actually had a chance to float this morning, so I can't say anything. I got here at 7:30. I'm like, I'm getting in the tank, and I did, and I'm so happy I did, because it's just amazing. It's like night and day. I was so exhausted, and I got in that tank, floated. I think it was at like 40-50 minutes, and that's all the time I had. But I got out, and I was just like, wham, bam, 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 bam. I had a first-time guest come in this morning. Super cool. She was excited. got her in. That was good. It was an amazing day.
Yeah.
Got to give a shout out. We had some guests out here today, actually, that have a spa out in Wausau. And it looks like they're curious about potentially building a float spa of their own. And I do hope that they do. Because honestly, like, more people that float, the more the message gets heard.
Mm-hmm.
And so, shout out to my friends who came in earlier today. I wish you all the best of luck, and ayahuasca is the purge. Aaron knows what I was talking about.
I knew exactly what you were talking
But
about.
I say it in a very professional way.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that has been an engaging topic of mine. Like, I have a true appreciation for these very, what some would call a primitive existence, but that is like the primordial state at its core. Like, what was existence like when we had to exist in this like very almost half spiritual, half physical state?
Yeah.
Because it's not like we were engulfed in a world that was full of this technology and, you know, political garbage and nonsense, informational nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And your teachers were the trees and the vines and the land.
Christian tells me, he's like, man, I just use Facebook to look at memes.
It is true.
But
If
you
you
know,
look at my page, it's just all memes.
I love memes.
Yeah, me too.
Memes are like the core fundamentals of how we get messages around the world, you know, in a way. It's more like a universal language, kind of like music.
Yeah.
You can meme just about anything. Oh, I got to give a
Aunt Ro.
shout out to the Twitch streamer that was outside.
Yeah.
She has a Twitch stream where she streams her video games. Her name is Lord. Wait. Oh man.
Lord Fire Pants.
No, Kitten Lord Supreme 1.
Really?
I'm not kidding.
That's an
Kitten
interesting
Lord
name.
Supreme 1. And she's down here with meeting up with other Twitch streamers.
Whoa.
She knows Ninja. And she's like, I don't care, because Ninja left Twitch.
Yep. To Mixer.
And now she's going to be the biggest Twitch streamer in the world. She's been followed by like 8 million people. Nah, I'm just kidding. She will after she sees this show. And you all go and subscribe.
Make a Twitch account.
If you do that Twitch thing, that is. No, she's super cool. She was like looking for a place to chill. She's like, where can I meet some folks? I'm like, dude, you like video games? Player 2, down the street. That'll be your spot for sure. I've never actually been there. Megan has. It's a good spot.
Have you ever been there, Christian?
No.
I totally feel like that would totally be your scene.
I feel like I might have to check it out, yeah.
Absolutely. It's really fun. I was just there during 2 weekends ago, I think it was. Not this Saturday, but Saturday before.
And you don't have to drink either. Like you
Oh,
can
no.
totally go there just to hang out.
Absolutely.
And their culture doesn't like imply that you ought to either.
Right.
Like
Absolutely.
you can totally go there. So just so you know, for anybody that's out there that's like, I'm not into all that kind of stuff. This is a totally chill spot where it's like a hybrid. It's almost like more like a wine and spirits, but like arcade. In fact, they
Right.
got a day where you can bring your kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually one Saturday a month. And it was just actually a few weekends ago that my family was downtown, and my younger cousin, she's the last one to turn 21 in the group, so she wasn't 21 yet. And I was like, hey guys, player 2 is right here, like we should go check it out. And Jonah's like, well, I don't think I can go in. I was like, well, they're open and it says for all ages today because it's Saturday. And she was like, oh, like let's check it out. So we all went in, and like we ended up playing like $20 worth of games.
That's
And
cool.
it was
They got
actually kind
some
of
classic arcade games.
absolutely, and it was actually kind of funny like watching like my mom and dad and my aunt being like way into it, because they're like, oh my god, I haven't played this since I was like 12 years old, or I haven't played this since I was like really little. And like hearing all their stories kind of incorporated into it was like really, really cool to be able to like rehab those connections with them.
Dang.
So that was like a lot of fun.
Kitten
on
Lord
top of that
Supreme
as
1
well.
not found.
Maybe it's ONE as in one.
Is it
Maybe it's Kitty.
it could be no
Should have got her card, John.
no Lord Kitten Supreme 1? Kitten or
or
Lord,
one.
Kitten
Or
Supreme Lord.
Juan.
You know what? any variation. I had it in my mind, but I didn't want to interrupt the stream before, and then I lost it, and I had to kind of improvise, and I feel like that's what I was thinking. So it's gonna come back to me.
We'll get there, y'all.
Anyway, she was super nice. She's from Canada.
Whoa.
Hey.
Man, that was kind of stereotypical, Megan. Later, A. I'm from Canada. No, don't be mean to Canadians. There could be a Canadian watching.
Sorry if I scared you.
I feel like Aaron might be Canadian. Now I'm gonna be bad. Oh, by the way, Cabrillo wants a robe, bro.
Yeah, man. He has to come float.
Yeah, you gotta come float first.
Come float.
Telling
Cabria.
you. So, did you guys get a chance to talk about I think
You missed a lot.
I know.
It's okay.
I was on adventures.
Yeah, we know. It's okay.
I was on the adventure of a lifetime, going around and around and around.
Isn't that what we do here? Float.
I kind of like the new setup though. I like how this white background. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the new setup?
I liked it the other way.
Oh man.
I like the sun setting on my face. Shows my hues of awesomeness.
What?
Yeah. Josh knows exactly what I'm
I
talking
think Josh
about.
is gonna look this. He's gonna like it.
I don't know about them.
See, he's on my side. He likes the sun
See,
setting
what
on
you
my
guys
face.
don't know is that Josh got super angry and he threw a pot across the room at
Oh,
my
yeah.
feet. It exploded like a little grenade. Like, no, I'm just kidding. He didn't actually do that.
Yeah, Doria. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Did-
well, ask yourself if there's all of the pots in this room that there used to be.
there aren't any.
Reminds me of the Indians going into the wilderness to find their spirit animal.
Yeah.
Carol, have you ever found your spirit animal? It's pretty sweet.
I think she just did.
John found his.
What was mine?
Woo.
The owl.
Owl.
Of
Wasn't it the owl?
knowledge.
Oh, wait.
Who?
What am I?
Who? Maybe you should float on that.
It is the owl. I'll tell you why. I saw this crazy.
Mr.
I was
Wise
doing.
One.
They called it healing touch, but apparently it's the same thing as Reiki. But
Yes.
I was doing it, and there was like this giant owl that just appeared. And then my fiance, which was Jessie, now my wife, she brought me home a bone carving of an owl that night.
Wow.
So that was synchronicity.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's got to be something there. It just blew my mind. And I'm like, there's got to be something. There's got to be something going on in the universe. And
That's when he was a
I was
believer,
woke,
y'all.
son. Christian's on like 41 floats today.
Give it up, everybody.
For the 41st episode.
Nailed it.
Synchronicity.
And Christian's also done the flotage.
Oh yeah. What's up, dude?
Which way did you prefer? The float or the massage first?
Did you?
Wait, did we combine it yet or no?
Yeah, no.
Man, Christian,
I
you
haven't
gotta
done it.
do it.
I know, I've been wanting to.
It's okay. We'll get there, dude. It's all good.
I just need to plan ahead.
Yeah. Give you a little bit more time.
It is true.
Finding
Carol-
the time is.
Carol
little
is a
bit hard.
cat. Hey, no wonder you and my dad get along so well. Except for I don't know about the turtle.
Maybe that just means that they're hard-headed, which makes all the sense with your father.
But that's their back, so it's strong backbone.
That's true. What can I say?
Yeah, but
Wait,
they go.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
they just
that might be
hide.
it. Dude, you can make an analogy out of anything if you want.
Think about it.
Really depends the circumstance.
Life is a flow.
Hi, friends.
Hello, friends.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome. Welcome.
You're live in front of thousands.
We scanned your face.
Wait, is that? They came back and they're like, let's pull out all of our promotional materials. They start
Oh, yeah.
sticking their like stickers for their businesses on our window.
You're gonna give them
Wouldn't
ideas.
that be something?
They start taping up flyers like, this is our business. Like, dude, we just got a bunch of free marketing just by walking across this business. Like those dudes in that truck that keep screaming at us every time they drive by.
Yep.
And their clothes keep coming off slowly.
This is why I don't
What?
stand outside. This is
Don't
why I'm not
stand
allowed out.
outside on Cotton
Don't
Hobby.
stand on our corner, y'all.
No, don't say that.
but it's
family show.
No, but it's honestly got a thing. Like even when you're taking pictures, the photos that you guys see of the professional ones from Josh Russell, who took our photos outside in front of Floatlight. Like even that day, like we were getting honked at like all day, and people were actually yelling at Josh Russell. They're like,
Oh, I
"Hey, dude,
remember.
what's up?" And like
Yeah,
it's like
because Josh had
it
this
ended up being his
crazy
friend.
flash that was like really high.
yes,
And they were
but
like,
it ended up being some of his friends that were driving around downtown that ended up seeing him.
oh yeah, well that's Josh's entourage. They
Yeah.
literally follow Josh around just to
You're
get
like,
a photo with him.
"Woo, go Josh!"
Oh.
I don't know if
Woo."
that's true or not. Josh, if you're listening, I don't know if that's true. It might be. It probably is though.
I have a question for Christian.
So,
What was the most profound like message, moment, or like takeaway from the tank that you've gotten from your experiences?
well, I don't know if it was like in the tank, but when I brought my friends for like the first time for their floats, it was 3 of them. Afterwards, we like drove home and stuff, and I don't know, for some reason it was like the best drive ever. We were all just like cruising, and we were just, not speeding.
Making memories.
But I think they felt the same way.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was just like really like uplifting and just like a release, I guess. Kind
I
of.
remember when you guys came in. Did they like? They must have loved it. Huh?
Yeah, they liked that.
Cool. Because I seen two of the guys come back, and they brought one of them brought their dad with them.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. So thank you, brother.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
bringing people. It's cool.
Yeah, see that. Christian's a true ambassador to Floatlight.
I mean, even my teacher and stuff.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
How did he like it? Did he like it?
he liked it. Yeah.
Good. You don't always see folks back, but eventually, I'm convinced that 6 months, 7 months down the road, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I just feel like crap," but I felt great during that float.
Yeah.
And they'll come back in, do the
My
float,
dad.
and they will feel better. And that's the thing. Like, there is like a totally like chill spot where people do come back after a while. And man, I don't think I've ever seen Scott and Sandy leave the stream.
Okay, we also went live really late.
I don't even know what time it is.
It's almost 10 o'clock.
Ha! Nonsense.
He has to be up at 4 a.m. So
Good night.
Good night, Dad.
Sandy.
Night,
Good night, friends.
love ya. See
You
ya.
guys better accept your super fan badges.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
I know.
Christian's
Top
like,
fan.
Christian's a meme
badge.
lord. He knows.
Yeah, he's like, I know, man. I laugh at those people.
No, I am a top fan.
He
on
probably
some
posts
pages.
those memes about it
Oh,
too.
look at that. See, that's chill. Have you ever seen the Floating Light live?
No,
No.
this is my first time.
And
you're here.
It's so meta. That's meta, right?
Yeah.
He's seeing the Floating Light live.
That's
First
like
Meta
the only way to
squared.
see it, right?
The live studio audience.
Of
We
himself.
should totally do that for the 50th. We should send out like invites to be like for people to actually come to the Floating Night live.
Stand outside.
No. Like we'll let them we'll like set up chairs and stuff, and then they can like be in the background.
We gotta hold up signs. Please laugh.
No, it would be an
Please.
applause sign,
Silent.
which I could totally find or build. I'll build one. Easy.
You could get some my stuffed chickens.
Yes.
Wings.
Guests
Egg
for the Floating
rolls.
Night live. Mai's Deli, folks.
Potluck.
Also would like to
Hey,
get.
that's Oktoberfest.
Oh yeah, Oktoberfest.
I would also like to get the folks from Player 2.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to get Kevin and Aurora eventually from Aurora's Apothecary. I actually just talked to Kevin tonight. They're doing a customer appreciation, so of course Floatlight will contribute a couple floats to their event. So I gotta remember to do that, make up some of those. Yeah, we just like to do fun things. That's what we do. We do fun things, friends.
Yes. Absolutely.
But Christian, I gotta say, man, thank you, brother, for all the support that you've given us, man.
Of course, it's been like, I guess, a good like experience, like coming, when you guys first started, and just being able to like, follow you guys through all that, like, the progress.
And you came from one of my personal mentors, and that's Greg from Float Madison. Shout out to Greg if you're out there, brother. But that was the closest place you could go at the time.
Yeah.
So I know Greg was like, "Man, you got Christian now." I'm like, "Well, yeah." He's like, I mean, I hope I can live up to the expectation. He's like, "Well, good," because he was driving quite a distance, and of course, now that you can come to us, helped
you
out
can
so
turn it back
much.
on.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, no,
happy that you
You can
come.
turn
It was like an
back on.
hour drive to Madison for me.
I was
Hour
driving.
like maybe 15.
We're good.
So it's like
It's a horse apiece.
yeah.
Oh, I guess you are not. You're kind of in the. You're a little bit out there. You're not from the Fox Cities, but you go to school around here.
Well, I graduated, but
Oh,
I
you
worked.
did?
Yeah, I
Congrats,
worked
man.
down in Menasha, so
Right on.
I'm close
Cool.
for the most part.
And Aaron actually made that comment about him driving 40 minutes for the last almost 2 years now, stating what dedication that you have. Congratulations. So it's true. We do have guests who do travel. I mean, how far away did Bill live before he actually moved
Watertown.
here? Yeah, he lived out in Watertown, so
I was
he
far.
had, he had a drive.
That's about where you were.
No, that's like Madison area, Watertown, I think.
It's like halfway.
Halfway.
Yeah.
I don't get out much.
Bill's at a lot of. Do you remember how many Bill was at?
30
I
two?
think he's.
or 5.
I don't know.
Yeah, Bill was just here. Shout outs to Bill.
I love you.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, and shout out to Sean for coming to Float Light twice.
Oh
That's
yeah,
like over a
Sean from
6
Upper
hour-
Michigan, 6-hour drive.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
there and back. Yeah, 6 hours.
He deserved that 90-minute flow. I'll
Yeah.
tell ya.
Yeah. That was
And he
awesome.
loved it, man. We had some deep conversation after that. Man, what a good thing.
Those are always the best, like the deep conversations. You just have like with people. and just-
Yeah, that you don't even know.
Mhm.
Sometimes in the lounge.
That's
I've
so
seen
true.
I've seen you engage in. I wasn't there. I don't always try to interrupt, but sometimes there'll be chill people in the lounge. One time it was Christian. We had remember who else was there? It was Floating Night Live guest that the episode that we did that didn't work out. That we did, but it didn't go live.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Oh man, I can't remember his name now.
Shoot.
Now he's gonna be so mad if he ever sees this episode.
That wasn't. That wasn't Jason. No,
Yeah, Jason.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Jason. Jason, Christian, myself, we were all chilling in the lounge, and I remember we just kept talking it, and I could see Christian was like, "Dude, if I don't go home, man."
But that was the
It was
one.
like midnight, 12:30 or something.
Yeah.
And we just sat in the lounge, just hanging out.
Well, and that was the thing too. Was he was the one who has the longer hair, right? And we were like super deep in this conversation with Mitch.
Oh yeah.
And that was one that's what you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we got like super in depth in this conversation, and like all of a sudden we looked and we're like, hey y'all, we haven't been recording, so like none of that was shared. And we're just like,
that must have been epic.
that was
conversation,
like
though.
It was
that's
such
the
a deep
thing. Like
conversation.
that's why like live is like fun and everything, but like not a lot of times you really get those really really deep conversations naturally like you do in a, like after
Right.
some
I
floats.
think that the reason we got so deep was because I gave up on the stream. I was like, we're just gonna talk.
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt it. And didn't want to disappoint everyone, so I just let the conversation roll.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Apparently, though, Energy Star Andrew captured it all on his
Yeah. So,
It's
yeah.
got the missing video.
Well,
Yep.
he did send it to me, but it's like weird because he only captured he would record for 5 minutes and then he would stop. 10 minutes, and it was like chopped and the video was worthless. The audio was all right, but he was like he had his phone like propped up on something over here and it fell at one point. So
yeah, I can see that happening.
yeah, but he did a valiant effort. I think he might have caught on that we weren't live. But back in the day when we first started doing the Floating Night Live, we didn't have all this fancy stuff set up where we had like a TV where we could see people's chats and everything like that.
Producer like Josh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we didn't have Think Like Productions helping us
Yeah.
on the set of the Floating Night Live. Yeah, but shout outs to Think Like Productions. If anyone out there gets a chance, this show would not be possible without our friend Josh from Think Like Productions. And you can find them on Facebook.com/ThinkLikeProductions. Go like their page.
Yeah, they're
Seriously.
Float family.
They are Float fam. They are fundamentally part of this community. And episode 41.
Woo, woo.
Anything else?
Nope.
What's
would-
with the awkward silence?
What would you like to leave with our
What are your final
community?
words
Yeah.
Final words.
or thoughts?
Man, I feel like I really have to think on this now. I don't know. It just like this whole experience
you, Aaron.
has been like really great. getting to know like all these people. You know, it is like a little family in a way. They're really, really great people, and you guys just gotta like get out here more and stuff, you know.
Man, that's so touching, man. Thank
out
you,
here.
man. Megan's actually crying.
I'm scared of y'all.
No, she's faking it.
Megan's crying.
It probably wouldn't be the y'all have seen me cry on here a few times.
Oh yes.
I've only gotten called out once. Thank you.
Poor Josh,
Pretty
awake
sure that
past
was
his
Dan.
bedtime. Are we? What?
What?
Was that a comment from Josh? Is Josh complaining in the chat?
I totally just.
I don't
saw
think
that.
he wants that represented as think like. Think like Josh's bedtime.
I wasn't complaining.
Which is now.
No, your mom and dad were like, oh, it's past our bedtime.
Yes.
So I just said mom.
Mine too. All of us.
Poor Josh. He's just a boy.
To be that young.
I think our live viewers just dropped because of that. That's all right.
Any final
we're
words,
used to streaming at
Dan?
8. We went on at 9.
Yeah.
We had a good amount of people watching though.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah.
And stream and commenting too.
As soon as I jumped on, then people left.
I just dropped.
Any final words, Dan, man?
The final words I have today.
Oh, they're gonna be really good, y'all. Listen close.
Dude, he's a philosopher.
If you see something that irks you, either change the way you view it or change it. But it all starts with changing yourself.
It all starts with you.
Man,
I feel like
Think
you sat
like
on,
production.
Like a mountaintop for, like,
Think like
weeks on
Dan,
end.
y'all.
dude, he is like the Dan has special ability to come up with like some genius things.
I stand
we
on
get
the
along.
shoulders of giants, John.
Yeah, we're all climbing that ladder, my friend.
Actually, it's true. We do stand on the shoulders of giants. It is a humble thing to say that too.
Yeah, and we're living like right now because of everyone that came before us, you know? Like even your lifetime or before that lifetime, you know, everyone's just holding you up.
It's
so
a
like
symbiotic thing.
yeah.
Every layer of life, we see this pattern emerge.
Yeah.
Call it a Mandelbrot sequence. You can call it anything you want. It's patterns upon patterns upon patterns. You know, at the molecular level, we see patterns emerging like bloodstreams,
Mhm.
like rivers, or like branches on a tree, like rivers, like plasma in the universe, to how universes are formed. We start off just a molecule, but eventually we become the entire universe.
From seeds to trees.
That's right. From seeds to trees. You got it.
Hey, that's like back to life. Okay, so remember when we were talking about planting seeds in people's lives, because eventually they'll blossom into what you had planted into them.
Yeah.
Like remember how I had planted with your thoughts of, you know, like how before like you were this one person and now you're like a completely different person. Like I feel like that's kind of something that we all bring, especially like with my best friend. You know, he goes through a lot and he can't really mentally be there for me like I am for him, but like because of things that I've said to him in the past, like he's now like incorporating that into his relationship now. And like he'll sit there and he'll be like, God, Megan said that to me one time, or wow, like Chris said that to me one time, like one of us two of his best friends. And it's true, like we implanted that seed and now he's actually finally able to use that knowledge, as you can say, to help better and grow people as well. And like it's probably like one of the coolest things is to be able to help people and to watch them grow. It's kind of like, again, like for Christian to be on here, guys, is like a big thing because like he's so shy. And when he told me that, when John was like, Christian's coming on live, I was like,
I don't think he's shy.
Oh, I'm
He's
shy.
just chill.
he's shy. He's shy.
No, I just observe a lot, you know. I'm not.
He is an observer.
Absolutely. And that's absolutely true. And that's why when John was like, oh yeah, Christian's gonna come on live, I was like, something like really must have like switched in him to like want to like be willing to come on
He
live.
asked me.
And like that was even what was more mind blowing is that he was
I
asked.
did mention to Christian like you should definitely do it, but like
Oh,
he
yeah.
was like, oh, I think I'm gonna do the live. I'm like, dude, yes.
Yeah, it was random, like completely random.
Man, did
That
you
was like
come
the
up with
best
that in the
part
tank?
though.
What about going on live?
Yeah.
No, it was just like randomly throughout the day.
Dude,
I was like-
spontaneity. Love it. I love it.
Shelly will be here for you.
We don't
worry.
make Manchurian candidates. We make independent visionaries. How about that one?
Boom.
It's deep, right?
There's no employees. We're just a collective of bosses.
The collective of boss.
We all
the
bosses. We all the boss. And that's like actually funny you say that too, because like that's totally like not how like I walk around here, but like that's totally like my mentality. Like people are like, oh well, like you're an employee. I'm like, no, I'm like so much more than that.
Yeah.
Like
So
I hope you
important.
feel the same way because like
Well,
you're
I told.
so much more than that. Like
Yeah.
What did I say to you last
It's
time?
so
Daniel? I was like,
true.
Daniel,
you're the boss.
Yeah.
And I
John?
was like, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Because.
And it's actually really funny when like one of like because like Dan and I we manage ourselves, but like that's how like we do this. Like like I want you to be a strong leader just like me. And that's how John and Jesse have embedded in me as well. Like we're all very, very strong leaders, and we're always not following, but like there's certain times where like John would be like, what do I do? Or I'll just like dictate to him what to do, and he'd be like, wow, like thank you for that. Like it's just like all these roles sometimes get flipped and
Yeah,
switched.
you
and
have to because
and that's totally okay because like
it's key of communication.
he's like willing, and it's like some of us like no, like I'm up here, y'all are down here.
Right. No, that's
Like,
that's
that's
the
Not how to run a business.
that's the viral issue that exists within the corporate structure, and that's why
Absolutely.
corporations struggle with culture. That's also why they're looked at in a way that's so demeaning to the human experience because of the core at which they structure their organizations. The employees are no more than cogs in a wheel and not the machine operator themselves.
Yeah.
But when you create a level playing field and everyone becomes the machine operator,
One.
it is. It's like pure unity. In fact, the employment structure in the world that we live in, especially in Western culture, but you could say all cultures, it's just flawed. I've seen it happen where managers would become worried about their position because somebody else has become more efficient at something that they do, that they will sabotage that individual's role in the corporation. The philosophy that I've come to, and this is based on my personal experience, is that I will leave the book on the table, how to be the boss, but how to be the owner, how to be the one, how to be whatever you want it to be, how to be a prophet, how to be a god.
Yeah.
And if somebody decides to open the book, then they've taken that step. The ones who are not embracing the culture are the ones who take the book and hide it. You get it?
Yeah.
And for anybody out there that's listening, I think I couldn't have said it better personally because, like, honestly, that's truly how I feel. It's not set up to be a trap. It's set up so that, and this is a metaphor. We don't really have a book, but it's set up to be a way to truly gauge what the motives, the intents, the pure passion behind the individual's care for the things that matter most. And it's kind of a unified what matters: community, culture, respect, reciprocity, function, how we give, and how we so humbly gain, but we exist in balance with one another. And that's very important. to float light, I think, as a whole. And that's what I have.
That's a wrap, y'all.
That was pretty deep.
Yes. Should have like a board. Like I know you guys have the board back there, but like another board of just like random like sayings you guys have and stuff. What are like
Float
ideas?
light ideas.
Yeah,
Kinda.
that's a pretty good idea. It's like a soundbite.
Like a Twitter.
Then
Yeah.
y'all follow us on Instagram. That's what we're gonna do now.
Well, yeah,
Give me
like we should
quotes.
take like sound bites out of all the Floating Night Lives of like inspirational quotes and
Yeah.
just make like a compilation.
Yes.
Okay, boom, 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 boom.
Yes. I agree with you, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron, and it's all up to
Absolutely.
us. Like you having that yearning can bring that change, just as John and our community is doing it. Because the more ripples, the more everything changes.
Yes,
All starts with
Yeah.
absolutely.
So just the very fact that you heard that and it resonates with you, that's enough for you to, you've now know your mission, you know?
It is true. We are like ripples in the pond. But when those ripples start to truly manifest, they become giant waves.
waves.
Yep.
I know it's cliche, but it's so true. And it
Look
should
at our wall.
be. It should be said. Yes. The wave wall? Dang. That's meta. After Daniel said it was meta once, we're standing outside. I had
yeah.
a projector, and people were watching me, and I was standing behind them watching myself. And they turned to me and they're like, "Do you know this guy?" And I'm like, "I'm that guy." It was the greatest thing ever. It was pretty epic though. There was hundreds of people out there like just passing through. Like, what is that? They go to grab a brochure. Daniel and I are like, this is genius. All right, friends. I don't know. Close it
So?
out, Megan. You're the boss.
That is the end of Floating Night Live.
Thank you, friends.
Much love.
We love you all. Thank you for joining us for the 41st. Yeah!
Woo!
This should go
Try-
slow motion.
Try clap. Christian.
Wait.
What?
Oh, wait. What?
Oh,
1, 2,
try
3.
clap?
Ow! It's like. Wait.
The end of Breakfast Club.
Yes.
All we need is that music, but don't sing it because we might get copyrighted.
Shouts out to New Wave.
Look at it. It looks so epic. Dan, you got this, Josh?
Good night, Carol.